welcome back to Omoshiroi Recap. Today, I will recap Kakegurui. The story begins about Private Academy, which is different from other academies. While other academies educate their students to become good figures in the future and help each other. But it's different from Hyakkaou Academy, where students are allowed to gamble after class is over. Even students do anything to get money and are willing to drop other people's economies for fun. A student named Suzui Ryuda. He is experiencing defeat due to gambling, which makes him have a debt of 5 million yen to a woman named Sayatome Mary. Because Ryuda could not pay the debt, in the end, he had to accept pet status and was looked down upon by the students there. After that, they had a transfer student in the class. She was named Jabami Yumeko. Then Ryuda was asked to accompany Yumeko around the academy and explain the rules. Yumeko's face was still innocent, so Ryuda warned her not to gamble so she wouldn't become a pet. However, Yumeko laughed after hearing that. Then when class was over, Mary asked Yumeko to gamble with her. Knowing there was a new transfer student, Mary wanted to make that person her pet. Meanwhile, Yumeko happily accepts the offer. They will play a game of rock, paper, scissors. The players will get 3 cards written by the students in the class and put them randomly in the box.
では次は50枚でお願いします。じゃんけんぽんしょ。よっしゃ。私の勝ちね。
At the beginning of the game, Yumeko continues to lose many times, to the extent that she has lost 1 million yen. Because she always wins, Mary underestimates Yumeko and thinks of her as a fool. However, Yumeko bets 10 million and suddenly makes everyone surprised.
バカらしい。付き合ってられないわ。もしかしておじけづいてしまわれましたか。なめやがって。
Not only that, Yumeko already knows that 20 students there have helped Mary by drawing cards according to her wishes. Even though she was in a disadvantageous situation, Yumeko felt horny. Instantly, with a high level of luck, Yumeko managed to beat Mary. As a result, Mary became frustrated and owed 8 million yen to Yumeko. Because she couldn't afford to pay, she also holds the status of a pet. After that, Yumeko felt that Ryuda was a good person. Yumeko gave him 5 million yen so Ryuda could be free from pet status. The next day, due to her previous defeat, Mary is bullied by class students and treated like a pet called Cat.
ミケ、コーヒーこぼしちゃった。掃除しておいて。
Ryuda explains that the pet rule has been in place since the student council president was taken over by a woman named Mamabami Kurari. Knowing Kurari's prowess can win the student council seat in a short time, making Yumeko excited to gamble with her. Then a student council member approached them, and she was named Itsuki, whose family owned a toy company. Itsuki invites Yumeko to play double cards. Of course, Yumeko accepts the invitation because she likes playing cards. The game is a double card, where the player must open each card and remember the card's location so that they can match 2 of the same cards. They also made a bet of 20 million yen. Because Yumeko doesn't have that much money, Itsuki will lend Yumeko 20 million yen without interest. When the first round started, Yumeko was defeated because Itsuki had the upper hand in equalizing her cards.
当たり。これで過半数54枚出たので、私の勝利ですね。
So Yumeko owes 20 million yen, which sends Ryuda into a panic. Meanwhile, Yumeko requests a rematch, but Itsuki asks her to bet her fingernails if she loses the game again. It turns out that Itsuki has a crazy hobby, collecting the fingernails of opponents she has defeated. However, Yumeko managed to win a landslide with just 1 turn to match all the cards. In the first round, Yumeko analyzes the card and confirms that Itsuki has played cheating.
これで54枚。私の勝ちですね。は?
On the back of the card are hidden markings that are hard to spot, but Yumeko surpasses the human limit and remembers all the marking patterns in one play.
負けた後悔しがってたのも演技。は？覚えてたっていうのか？そんなことが人間に可能なのか？
After that, Yumeko returned to challenge Itsuki by betting their nails, but Itsuki was frightened when she saw Yumeko's crazy behavior. Itsuki was so scared that she peed in her pants and cried there.
つまんないの。
After the defeat, Itsuki was expelled from the student council group. Not only that, the student council members became interested in Yumeko. On the other hand, Mary challenged a student council member named Yuriko. Mary challenged her because there was a rule that pets had a chance to give up their status by playing against student council members. However, there was only one chance. If she lost, she would become a pet until she graduated from school.
ご愁傷様。
歯が刺さっているため、判定は死。計4960万円のマイナスで決着です。
Neri, who hoped to win, had bad luck, because she suffered a loss and her debt reached 50 million yen. So her mental health had reached the limit and she fell into despair. After seeing Mary lose, Yumeko is even more excited to play with Yuriko. The game they play is life or death, and they bet 40 million yen on the game.
勝負 !17 の生、30の死。
あと一つずれてたら当たりだった。当てれば3000万だぞ。
At the beginning of the game, it ends in a draw, but Yumeko discovers Yuriko's cunning and cheating. Previously, Yuriko gave hope to a weak human, then beat her so badly that she fell into despair. So Yumeko is very insulting and demeaning to Yuriko.
クソのようなものですね。
ブレーナー、ゆり子様、この女叩き出し。
間抜けな名前ってことですね。あ、傑作。ね、鈴井さん。
Of course, Yuriko got carried away with emotion, and Yumeko risked all of her chips worth 40 million yen. When Yuriko divided her chips into 5 places, Yumeko put all her chips in one place, which is where Yumeko already knows that the dealer there uses a magnet to move the sword in the cup. Of course, if Yumeko wins, then Yuriko will have a very large debt, because the results of the winning bet will be multiplied, and the loser must pay it. When Yuriko wanted to stop the game, the student council president suddenly came to meet them and forced Yuriko to continue playing. It turned out that the results of the game, Yuriko was very lucky to win, while Yumeko lost and owed 310 million yen. As a result, Yumeko's status changed to that of a pet. The next day, even though the mice in the class laughed at it, Yumeko was even more excited and played herself as a cat. When the students discover that Yumeko has become a pet, a rogue student named Kiwatari tries to find opportunities to play tricks on Yumeko. Kiwatari immediately took Yumeko to a deserted place and wanted Yumeko to show her beautiful body there.
肌を見せるのは嫌ですし、私のタイプから大外れしてるので。
But a student council member named Midari came to meet them. Seeing Midari's behavior was so crazy that Kiwatari lost his passion and decided to leave there. On the other hand, Mary is increasingly cornered because her life plan has been arranged by the student council, which is to marry an older man and have children with him. Of course, Mary would be annoyed if her life was arranged arbitrarily by the student council.
金返せなきゃマジでそうなるからね。せいぜい男を喜ばすテクでも磨いときなよ。
To get out of control of the student council, she must pay off her debt before graduating from school. After that, the student council secretary, Sayaka, held a debt settlement game for all pets. They were divided into several groups. Coincidentally, Mary was in the same group as Yumeko. When the game started, their opponents were Kiwatari and his partner, Tsubomi. Kiwatari took part because he wanted to get more money if he managed to win, even though there was a risk of becoming a pet later. Then they played 2 Indian poker cards. At the beginning of the game, Kiwatari is very dominating, to the extent that Kiwatari demeans Mary and Yumeko. However, Mary certainly doesn't want to stay silent and makes fun of Kiwatari until he gets annoyed.
人間様にはお見通しなんだよ。ホールドだ。何を言って。
私の手は豚だよ。バーカ。
After that incident, Kiwatari felt uneasy.
勝負に行ける手じゃない。フォールドだ。
ラッキー、豚なのに勝っちゃった。
And even Yumeko found out that Kiwatari and Tsubomi had worked together. Because of that, they also cooperate and manipulate Tsubomi to betray Kiwatari.
9のペアです。この土壇場ですごい手が来ましたね。おめでとうございます。
Even though at the end of the game, Kiwatari is still sure to win, it turns out that Yumeko and Mary exchange debts to trick him and hide their chip value. So Mary is in first place, Tsubomi in second, Yumeko in third, and Kiwatari in fourth. In the end, Kiwatari officially became a pig or pet with a total debt of 310 million, while Mary and Yumeko earned 260 million thanks to the victory in the game. After all, their relationship became closer and friends, but Yumeko is still a pet. It turns out that Yumeko's goal is to use her pet status to challenge the student council president in a gambling game later. Then the student council succeeded in investigating Yumeko's background, and it was revealed that Yumeko had a lot of wealth, but it was all collected independently without the help of her family. She has an older sister who is sick and being treated at the hospital. She was folding money into origami as if it had no value, because of too much money. Then Yumeko and Ryuta were forcibly kidnapped by Midari, and taken to a place where Midari wanted to play a very crazy game with Yumeko. Because both have crazy minds, they play the death game with each other.
それってもちろんエアガンかな。
While Ryuta becomes the dealer in the death game, they are asked to match the cards arranged by Ryuta in 3 rounds. If they win, they can take a gun with random bullets. In the first round, Midari managed to win and immediately aimed the gun at Yumeko.
私の銃です。本当は一発も込めていません。
はぁ？マジかよ。
It turned out that the gun belonged to Yumeko and had no bullets. Then continued to the second round, Yumeko managed to win. Yumeko also looked for a weapon that weighed less because lighter guns had no bullets, so Midari would not die in the game.
外れか。
そうですね。これは私の銃。2発目も弾は入っていません。
Then the third round ended in a draw which matched Yumeko's expectations from the start of the game. Yumeko still has a human side trying to explain that Midari's actions are ridiculous, and it's not a gambling game but Midari wants to die. Listening to Yumeko's words made Midari wet until it leaked. Maybe she found a new hobby. After that, when Midari remembered the look in Yumeko's eyes, she felt horny and always stopped by the toilet to play some water. On the other hand, Karari meets Mary and asks her to join the student council because she has managed to earn hundreds of millions before. Even though Karari had forced her to join, Mary refused because she didn't like Karari's nature, which greatly demeaned other students, and at the same time, did not consider pets as humans. Then the student council president will leave the academy for a while because there is a business outside. Of course, the student council president's departure makes the members go out of control. The student council treasurer, Manuda, and the idol Yumami intend to defeat Yumeko. On the other hand, Itsuki meets the 3 of them there and wants to join their friendship group. Instead, Itsuki will support Yumeko if she needs help fighting the student council members later. After that, Yumami invited Yumeko to come to her place. Yumami explained that she wanted to make Yumeko an idol with her if Yumeko lost the gambling game. Yumami intends to make Yumeko an idol and debut in an adult film. Yumeko also accepts this and is already preparing for the recording. It turns out that Yumami has a secret. That is, she hates her fans. She even feels disgusted when shaking hands with them. But Yumeko records all the conversations so Yumami can bet on her career as an idol in the gambling game later. When the game is about to start, Yumeko dresses up like an idol and goes on stage with Yumami. They must show their charms as idols to win the viewers' hearts. After going through various games and still balancing, Yumeko started to get serious about ending the game. Then they were asked to guess Mary's birthday. Of course, Yumami didn't know it. Even if she lost in this round, the previous record would be played there.
3月8日だけど。
より近い回答をしたゆめこちゃんの勝利。
In the end, Yumeko manages to beat her in the game, and then Yumami's colleagues try negotiating with her to get rid of the tape. But Yumami decided to play and risked his career as an idol.
握手求めてくんな気持ち悪いんだよ。
いや僕たちをどう思ってようが関係ない。それでもゆめみちゃんが好きだ。むしろ本音を言ってくれて好きでした。
When Yumami was prepared that her dream as an idol would be destroyed, it turned out that the fans there were true fans. They still support Yumami and don't care if Yumami belittles them or feels disgusted with them. Of course, it makes Yumami feel happy to have fans who always support her. In the end, they both do duo to enliven the event. After all that, Yumeko explained that and wanted to bring down Yumami by using Yumeko. Because of that, Yumeko wants to find the culprit. Yumami also ensures that the culprit is Manuda, who pretends to cooperate even though he wants to destroy Yumami. However, they couldn't prove Manuda's actions, so Yumeko challenged him to play gamble with her there. Yumeko uses its status as a pet to challenge the student council members, and the student council cannot refuse the challenge.
公式戦をしましょう。
Then Manuda has no choice but to accept the challenge from Yumeko, referee in their match, the vice president of the student council named Ririka. They will be playing choice poker at no limit bet, since Manuda is a subsidiary of the National Finance Agency. Of course, he has a lot of money. Even the highest bet holder is free to determine a strong card or a weak card as a winner. You can be sure that Manuda is very favored in the game. He prepared 100 chips worth 1 billion. While Yumeko only prepared 31 chips. When the game started, it was seen that Manuda was thinking optimally to predict Yumeko's actions to defeat her decisively.
試してやる。10枚ベット。
10枚レース、計21枚です。は強い順でお願いします。
だがエースが含まれているジャダミの勝ちだ。
Even though in the first round, Yumeko won with a total of 41 chips, Manuda turned things around and made her lose all of her chips.
豚です。残念。
夢子ちゃんの負けだ。マジか。
However, the game is still ongoing because Yumeko asks Itsuki for money and places a bet for her, so that Yumeko can continue to game. Itsuki also believed and followed Yumeko's crazy wish, where Itsuki prepared 100 chips for Yumeko. However, Manuda certainly did not remain silent and continued to raise the stakes to Itsuki's financial limit. Having been cornered and confident of winning with Yumeko's card, Itsuki put her whole body and life on the line in the game.
副会長、私の人生レイズします。
Which is worth 10 billion, so Yumeko feels horny seeing this madness. But Manuda felt that the bet was unreasonable and did not meet the game's rules. After that, Ririka took off her mask. It turned out she was the student council president in disguise there. So Kurari made Itsuki's life worth 10 billion, and the total bet reached 12 billion. While Manuda panicked because going beyond 12 billion was difficult to achieve. If Yumeko gets the right to vote, Yumeko will certainly win. Because of that, Manuda confidently risked everything and her life, bringing the total bet to 13 billion. Of course, the right to vote for cards is in Manuda's hands. With firm conviction, Manuda chose the strong card as the victor.
俺の選択は強い順だ。リカード。
Hearing that made Itsuki look sad, even though she laughed slyly.
は？なんで？3カード？
つまるところあなたの範囲は一つ。
私を舐めたからってこと。ざまみれ。
Instantly, Manuda loses badly because Yumeko's card is superior to him. Ultimately, he fainted to the point that his hair turned white, resulting from losing all his wealth in an instant without anything left. The lesson we get is that you should not gamble. Otherwise, you will end up like this person. Then Kurari became interested in Yumeko and asked her to play with her. The next day they have prepared a place to play, where they will be immediately expelled from the academy if she loses the game. They will play the Tarot Divination card because it only takes 3 rounds to finish the game, so Ryuta will open the last card to determine the winner's fate. The supervisor in the game is a student council member named Rana. At the beginning of the game, Yumeko opens a card worth 1 point, while Kurari opens a card worth 21 points. Of course, Ryuta has to open the Fool's card or worth 20 more points. Meanwhile, watching from above, Mary and Itsuki already knew where the Fool's card was, because previously, Kurari had marked it with the same blue color as her fingernails. Knowing this, Ryuta wanted to take it but didn't do it because he felt that it was a trap made by Kurari. Then Ryuta fights by randomly selecting cards until Yumeko goes crazy seeing Ryuta.
プラス20点で合計0点。よって運命のタロットは引き分け。
The game ended in a draw, and they still went to school as usual. A few days later, Kurari suddenly makes a decision that shocks everyone. While meeting with the student council members, Kurari says she wants to step aside from her position as student council president and hold an election for a new student council president for all students, including herself. Of course, this election is done by gambling. Kurari did that because she wanted to change the student council and the school. Not only that, but Kurari also invited 10 people from the Momobami clan. Kurari is the supreme leader of the Mamabami, and the leadership of the Mamabami clan is also at stake in this gamble. The winner will become the new student council president and the Mamabami clan leader. So this will be a battle royale involving the Mamabami clan, student council members, and all students at the school.
ようこそ私の学園へ、そして弱肉強食の生徒会長選挙へ。
The election for a new student council president will last 30 days. Then they would all be given one voting chip and allowed to gamble with anyone to collect the chips. Someone who has the most chips on day 30 will be the winner. Then a girl named Tadabami Terano made a pact with all Mamabami clan representatives to defeat Kurari together. Because she hates Kurari, even the others feel the same and will help her.
争うのはキラリを倒してからだ。足を引っ張る者は私が殺す。
On the other hand, Yumeko shows her savings to Ryuta, which amounted to 3 billion yen after defeating Manyuta. Meanwhile, Itsuki got Manyuta's life. Then Mary warned Yumeko to be careful because there was a transfer student from the Mamabami clan. Even Mary felt that Jabami Yumeko was also from the Mamabami clan. After that, someone named Batsubami Rei came to pick up Yumeko to participate in the election gambling. When they got there, they met the crazy woman Midari. It turns out that Mushibami Arami invited them. They use the torture device for gambling, a box with sharp objects connected by ropes. They will stick their fingers in the hole and take turns cutting the rope. The sharp object would cut their hand if it managed to cut the real rope. If someone sticks out their finger first, then that person loses. Of course, the one who is not afraid will be the winner.
そう、そこまで恐れるなら仕方ないわね。このギャンブルはいいじゃねえか。
Arami thought that Yumeko and Midari would be scared, but they were happy and enjoying this dangerous game. At the same time, Arami had prepared a safety device so she wouldn't cut her finger, but Yumeko managed to notice it and said something to the referee there.
ちゃんと取り外していただけましたね。
ああ、無論であります。任務でありますから。今なんて言った？
Hearing that, Arami thought the safety device had been removed, so Arami started to get scared because her finger might be cut off.
お前の番だ。
While the two of them got more excited every time they cut the rope, even Midari's pants got wet. In the end, only 2 ropes were left, and Midari, who couldn't hold herself back, immediately cut the 2 ropes.
最後の一歩。
Arami unknowingly pulled out her finger, so she lost the game, while Yumeko and Midari still put their fingers there. It turned out that there was still a safety guard on the device, so their fingers weren't cut off. The game ends with Arami losing by pulling her finger, and Midari losing by breaking the rules by cutting 2 ropes at once. At the same time, Yumeko wins the game and gets 2 chips. The next day, Yumeko receives an invitation to gamble, and they also meet Obami Miri and Nbami Mio. Mio reveals that Yumeko is part of the Mamabami clan. Even Mio hugged Yumeko before entering the gambling room. Then they entered the room and were greeted by Rana, the referee. Rana also explained the game's rules. The player would use a card containing the numbers 0 to 3, and the referee will randomly give 4 cards to each player. Then the player must remove 1 card, and the numbers on the card will be added up. The player will lose if the total number is more than 9, so they have to keep the number at 9 to win the game. Mio didn't have a 0 card in the first round, and she lost because the number exceeded 9.
私の負けのようですね。
手札が悪すぎる。
Then suddenly, Yumeko fainted there. After investigation, it turned out that Yumeko was infected with poison, and the culprit is Mio. She poisoned Yumeko just before starting the game. On the other hand, Mary accidentally meets the vice president of the student council and sees her beautiful face behind the mask. Her name is Mamabami Ririka. Ririka takes Mary somewhere and offers her 100 voting chips, provided Mary cooperates with her in the student council president election. Before that, Mary removed Ririka's mask and confirmed that she was Kurari's twin sister but had different characteristics. Ririka is a shy girl who uses a mask to cover up her weakness. Then Mary didn't want to cooperate with Ririka and refused the 100 chips. But suddenly, she gets a call from Ryuta explaining that Yumeko is in danger and needs a lot of chips to get the cure. Knowing this, Mary immediately accepted Ririka's offer and got 100 chips. Then Mary heads to Yumeko's place with Ryuta. Neo will give an antidote if Mary plays along by risking 100 chips to save Yumeko's life.
あなたが勝てばこの結成を差し上げます。
さっさと席につけ。相手してやる。恐ろしい。
When the game started, Ryuta had a bad card because he didn't have a zero card. But Mary asked him to show his cards to everyone there so that Mary could develop a strategy to win the game.
この勝負勝てる。レイズ100票。
Then Mio belittled them and called them very weak because she felt she had control of the game. However, Mary knows what cards are in their hands, so Mary won the first round and beat Miri.
負ける。持ってるに決まってる。
ゼロ持ってんのかな。
ない。
As punishment, Miri has to touch a poison needle and become infected with the same poison as Yumeko. But the game wasn't over, and they moved on to the second round. Ryuta showed his card again to Mary. Then Mary raised the higher stakes and lured them into following the bet.
1万票。
コール。
Not only that, Runa deliberately arranged the cards neatly so Mary could realize the trick. Fortunately, Mary figured out the trick Runa used, so Mary and Ryuta won the game.
私が2を持っていればチャンスだったのに。だから言ったじゃん。弱者はあんたたちだって。
In the end, Miri fainted because the poison had spread throughout her body, while Mio intended to avenge her defeat to Mary later. After that, Yumeko is treated and given an antidote, so the poison in her body begins to disappear. On the other hand, the students also gambled to collect chips. Even Kurari also fought the students and never lost against them. After 1 week, Runa announced the 10 rankings of students with the most chips in school. Yumeko is ranked 10th with 13 chips. Honbami is ranked 9th with 17 chips, Mio is ranked 8th with 21 chips, Sumika is ranked 7th with 40 chips, Itsuki is ranked 6th with 50 chips, Obami Rin is ranked 5 with 62 chips, Mary is in 4th place with 101 chips, Yumemi is in 3rd place with 109 chips, Terano is in 2nd place with 133 chips, and Kurari is in 1st place with 216 chips. Then Sumika shows her true identity at the school. It turns out that Sumika is a famous Hollywood actress who disguises herself as an ordinary student so as not to attract attention. Then Sumika meets Yumeko and challenges her. Hearing that, Yumemi wants to compete with them and proposes an acting competition. Yumemi is a fan of Sumika and wants to become a Hollywood artist like her. However, Sumika underestimated Yumemi there, thus making Yumemi feel annoyed and want to win the acting competition.
そんな人どうせ問題にはならない。当たり前だ。彼女はハリウッド女優。たかが一高校生アイドルなど存在しないも同じ。
At the same time, Sumika accepts the challenge and fights Yumemi with Yumeko in the acting match. The competition will last for 3 rounds. The first round is singing on the stage, which many students watch. The two of them sang and danced like idols while Sumika sang a classic song that was able to touch the hearts of everyone there. So the first round was won by Sumika. Yumemi was surprised to see that, even though Yumemi had already bribed the audience. It turned out that Sumika had also bribed back those onlookers. After that, the second round acted to hold back the spicy taste. Sumika and Yumemi were going to eat 3 dishes, one of which had a very spicy macaron. When eating dish A, Yumemi intends to trick Sumika by showing pain. But Sumika finds out it was a trick because Yumemi broke her finger on purpose. Sumika managed to guess correctly that dish B contained macaron, but Yumeko also managed to guess correctly.
B の皿。それがデスマカロンね。B の皿がデスマカロンです。
So the second round ended in a draw. Then in the third round, they play cards and raise the total pile of cards to 63. If they are caught lying, and the accumulation of cards exceeds 63, that player will lose. When the game started, Yumemi wanted to give up and was ready to accept her defeat. But she guessed that Sumika had lied and stacked cards over 63.
パスです。
パスです。2名がパスしたので宣言終了。
OK 値67でバースト
So Yumemi and Yumeko won the game. A few days later, 5 people will play saving or paying taxes. Yumeko, Itsuki, Manyuda, Honbami, and Ibara. Each player will be given 5 coins and head to a closed room. In that place, there is a personal savings and tax deposit box. They are free to choose to save in personal savings or pay taxes. When finished, the referee will count the coins. The coins in the tax deposit box will be multiplied by 2 and distributed equally to all players. They must collect 40 coins per person for 5 rounds of play. If they all paid taxes, then they would collect 40 coins easily. However, there are betrayers among those who don't pay taxes. Therefore, they can discuss finding the betrayer.
だから分かってねえなミラ。裏切り者じゃねえ保証がどこにあんだよボケ。
Even though they had discussed it, they didn't trust each other. Not only that, in the second round, the number of coins in the tax box decreases. At the same time, Yumeko was excited because if they didn't find the betrayer, they would all lose. After going through 3 rounds and still not finding the betrayer, Yumeko and Manyuda decide to take them down and not pay taxes. Of course, if they can't collect 40 coins at the end of the game, all players will lose.
俺が納税する銀貨は0枚。
But Itsuki realizes that Yumeko and Manyuda threaten the betrayer. If they don't want to lose together, they only need to deposit coins in the tax box collection. In the end, the 4th round is over and 5 players deposit their 5 coins into the tax box. So they got 10 coins and managed to collect 40 coins.
だから追放しよう。裏切り者をな。骨ばみミラスラーバ。スメラギー付き。お前だ。
After that, Manyuda found the betrayer among them. She is Honbami. It turns out that Itsuki has been working with Honbami by leaving her coin on the table and letting Honbami take it. Honbami followed Itsuki's orders because the coins were very profitable and made it easier for her to collect 40 coins quickly.
損得感情で人は操れる。これも社会だ。
Since Honbami had a lot of coins in her personal savings account, they agreed to take Honbami out of the game.
まんまとスメラギさんに乗せられてしまったんですね。
まあぶっちぎり1位じゃ仕方ねえよ。
追放しましょう。
So Honbami was in 5th place, Manyuda was in 4th place with 40 coins, and Yumeko and Ibara were in 2nd place with 41 coins. At the same time, Itsuki is in 1st place with 45 coins, but Itsuki's victory is immediately taken by Terano. The 2 of them had made a bet before the game started. They bet on whether Manyuda can guess who the betrayer is in the game. Itsuki said that Manyuda could not find the betrayer, while Terano believed Manyuda would find the betrayer. So the bet was won by Terano, and she got all of Itsuki's voting chips.
スメラギが実際には負けていた。
なんだそりゃ。
Despite resigning from the election for Student Council President, Itsuki is happy that Manyuda has regained his passion for gambling. A few days later, Yumeko is challenged by Kurari's assistant, Sayaka. She wants to eliminate Yumeko from school because Yumeko is very dangerous. To protect Kurari, Sayaka challenges Yumeko to gamble with lives or something precious to them.
ジャバミさん、私とギャンブルしてください。私とあなたの命。
After that, they headed to the Tower of Door, and Kurari would be the referee. They climbed the center stairs and arrived on the 5th floor. Kurari explained the game they were playing. They have to go down to the 1st floor and pick up 1 flower to be returned to the 5th floor. The player who finishes first will be the winner. Although the game is very simple, many doors have different paths. They have to answer the questions correctly so the door can be opened. Players are given 5 minutes to open doors alternately and find the door with the fastest path. Of course, this game requires observation and intelligence. Not only that, they are risking their lives in the game because the losing player has to jump from the 5th floor. Then Yumeko was the first to open the door and chose the middle door they had climbed up earlier. Although the door managed to open, there was a wall. Meanwhile, Sayaka opened the door on the floor and managed to get down to the 4th floor. Then Yumeko chose to open the outer door that was not connected to the lower floors. Yumeko does this to analyze the Tower of Doors, so she knows that the tower rotates 60 degrees every 5 minutes. After knowing that the tower can rotate, the middle door is the fastest path to open at the right time. Because she managed to open the central door, Yumeko could quickly go to the 1st floor and return to the 5th floor.
五十嵐さん、ゴールおめでとうございます。はい、どうぞ。もう不要ですけど。
So Yumeko won the game. Because Sayaka loses, she will jump from the 5th floor. Unexpectedly, Kurari also jumps with Sayaka. It turns out that there is a safety mat under the flowers, so they don't get hurt when they fall. Because Sayaka had already completed the bet, Kurari again offered Sayaka to be her assistant. Of course, Sayaka was happy and accepted Kurari's offer. The next day, Rei invited several people to join the auction game. Rei auctioned off 100 chips to those who made the highest bid. However, the player's bid that doesn't win will be Rei's. For example, a player wins an auction with a bid of 80 chips and gets 100 chips from Rei. But Rei got 130 chips from all the players' bids in total.
ちょっとふざけんのもいい加減にしなさいよ
So if the players compete with each other in making offers, then Rei gets a huge advantage. Even representatives of the other Momobami clan were caught in Rei's trap and forced to participate in the auction. After that, suddenly, the referee brought a lot of suitcases containing 3 billion yen, which turned out to be Yumeko's. Yumeko feels that Rei is wearing a mask. Therefore, Yumeko wants to pay 3 billion yen to open Rei's mask and the purpose of Rei's arrival at the school.
さすがはジャバミユメコ。お見事です。
Rei accepted this and explained her goal to them, and she wanted to win the election for student council president and become the leader of the Momobami clan to change the rules she had considered bad. After that, competition between players continued, giving Rei a significant advantage.
これじゃ完全にバツバミさんのペースだ。
なんて素敵な地獄。
ダメだ。
To overcome this, the players must refrain from competing. Then Yumeko bids 101 to win the 100 chip auction. Of course, it's crazy, and Yumeko keeps doing it repeatedly. Eventually, the other players started to understand Yumeko's hidden message not to compete. After that, they take turns offering 1 chip and winning 100 chips in the auction.
現在1票です。1票で落札です。
わあたったの1票で落札できちゃいました
Of course, all of Rei voting chips were sold out, because 100 voting chips were sold at just 1 chip. So Rei was defeated by them and fell into despair.
おいさっさとしろよ
ギャンブルを利用しようとして私もまた飲み込まれた。
Then Yumeko wants Rei to gamble on her free will, not for revenge, so that Rei can enjoy more when gambling. It turns out that Rei's wish is to be beside Yumeko's older sister. Therefore, Rei risked 3 billion yen to seize the name of the Jabami family. The two of them had gone mad, risking 3 billion in Jabami's name with a simple coin toss game. As a result, Yumeko won the game. Even though Rei lost, she decided to start a new life freely and be herself as a female student at the school. And that is the end of the video. Remember to subscribe and like this video, so see you in the next video.